What's going on YouTube? I'm back with quick analysis and simple analysis here for the El Clasico. Gladly it finished 1-0. Good for Real Madrid. We maintained the lead, 6 points clear. It was very important not to lose. As I expected, we started off pretty cautious against Barca, trying not to concede any goal. And we managed to achieve this in the first half. We started off, let me take you through what we started off with. Zidane didn't start off with what I would have expected him to start with. I was expecting him to start with the lineup he started with against Atletico, and paid off with only playing with Ronaldo up front. Unfortunately, he didn't. He played with Ronaldo and Benzema for obvious reasons. Playing away to Barcelona, you want to keep their defense as deep as possible. You don't want them to push so far up the pitch. So playing with two strikers somehow achieved that in the first half. They were not able to push up so much. Had they been able to, they would have been more compact against us offensively, and they would have created more chances. Doing so, he managed to be in control of the first half. Also taking into consideration, Barca was really poor in the first half. We should have finished the game in the first half, though. We had so many opportunities, we did not take them, and this is what happened. So anyways, he started off with Neves as the goalkeeper, Carvajal, Varane, Ramos, and Marcelo, Modric and Kovacic protecting Isco in the midfield, Vasquez and Ronaldo, and Benzema up front. This was the lineup that was shown on TV. However, the actual lineup was looking like this when we don't have the ball. Basically, we're only playing with one striker, being Ronaldo, with Benzema almost playing as a central attacking midfielder behind Ronaldo. Dropping down to help out in the midfield and relying on Ronaldo's speed in the offensive area to counter-attack. Isco was tucking into the left side, protecting Marcelo, with Kovacic dragging back, acting as a defensive midfielder with Casemiro on the bench, and Modric slightly in front of him, protecting this midfield area, and Vasquez dragging back to protect Carvajal against Neymar. Our formation also changed going forward. When we have the ball, it was everything was going through Modric, and this is what it looked like. I'll start off with Carvajal because he was the more cautious out of the two fullbacks. Marcelo was pushing further out than Carvajal. Carvajal was staying, more put. He wasn't crossing the midfield much. Kovacic was also maintaining this sort of line in the midfield, with Modric pushing further up and Isco tucking into a more central position, with Vasquez going wide, trying to attack from the right side. Most of our attacks were started from the right side. However, most of the successful attacks were coming from Marcelo. However, he was not able to cross anything. And Benzema moving obviously further up the pitch. Moving on, when Isco had the ball, the formation slightly changed, with Modric dropping back into the midfield, with Kovacic dropping further back as well and trying to protect Marcelo as Marcelo pushes further up. This only happened a couple of times, where we saw Marcelo pushing really up and Carvajal also crossing this midfield line and Kovacic dropping back. This is how our formation looked like when Casemiro came in for Isco. So many people disagreed with Jesus' decision to take out Isco. I thought that was a great move by Zidane. He actually fooled everyone, especially that we were losing 1-0. To bring in a defensive midfielder when you're losing, it's like you're trying to, prevent a riot. We actually went more offensive when Casemiro came in, because what actually happened is Modric was better on the ball going forward, and he was more creative than Isco. Isco was better in the sense that he was able to hold onto the ball, but he wasn't creating as much, and he was beginning to fatigue. So bringing in Casemiro freed Modric so much. He moved further out the pitch, and he was able to be more in control of the game. Kovacic was moving more freely. So bringing in Casemiro was a game changer for Real Madrid. We were able to push further up without worrying about our defensive line, and Carvajal and Marcelo were equally moving up, and we were seeing this sort of triangle being formed between Modric, Vasquez, Carvajal. Kovacic was also getting in there along with Marcelo, Kovacic and Modric as well. Ronaldo was able to tuck in more. Vasquez was able to draw into more wide areas, and our offensive sort of movements were much better. We move on to the second substitution, which was Asensio. I personally didn't like that one. I didn't see why we brought in Asensio when we could have brought in Diaz. But anyways, this is what happened. Bringing in Asensio somehow helped Marcelo to move further up and be more offensive compared to previously. Kovacic had to draw back. Modric moved further up. Vasquez was able to tuck in into the 18's yard. Vasquez was able to tuck in into the attacking area along with Ronaldo. Carvajal was also able to move further up. Casemiro maintained position, and also the other thing I saw was Asensio helping Marcelo really good, defensively. He had more energy. Marcelo was really having a hard time, tracking back, especially when he was asked to move this high up the pitch. Moving on to the last substitution, bringing on Diaz was a bit late, but was good decision to bring him this late on the game. He was more he was able to affect the game more, and the game changed really once he came in. Bringing Diaz in changed so many things. Carvajal had to definitely draw back as we were relying mainly on Diaz and Vasquez on the right hand side. Marcelo was almost a winger. Asensio didn't track back as much, but he was able to tuck in more and attack more centrally. Barca, Modric maintained position. Vasquez was able to tuck in more along with Ronaldo. The energy Diaz put onto the right hand side obviously caused Barca a lot of problems. Moving on, moving to the most crucial points and controversial points on the game. Starting off with Suarez's goal. Here we can see Suarez obviously offside. However, it's really hard for the linesman to really get that. It was an offside, no doubt. As we can see, Suarez's right foot is way beyond the white line in the middle, and is not as expected. Is not covered by Benzema, so he's definitely onside. I mean, he's definitely offside, and it shouldn't have stood. Shouldn't. From another angle here, you can't really see as much. This was what we're seeing on TV, and you couldn't really tell if he was offside or not. You could actually think, or everyone thought then that he was actually onside. He was being played onside by Benzema, but from the other angle he was obviously offside. Alright guys, moving on to our next controversial point. Beginning of the first half, obviously our first chance on goal, and this is what happened. Ronaldo getting the ball, trying to play to Benzema. Benzema then draws the ball into Vasquez, and he's been taken down by Mascherano. Ref calls for a non-penalty, and everyone goes ballistic about it. If we move on and try to see it, we can see from this angle clearly Mascherano goes for the leg, and definitely doesn't get the ball. It's definitely a penalty, clear penalty, beginning of the first half, and then it's an obvious penalty. Moving on to the second controversial point of the game, which is the Sergio Ramos handball. This was minute 9, and it was an attack by Barca. Ball was kicked back by Roberto into Ramos's arm. It's clearly his arm is close to his body. It's not stretched out. It's clearly a ball to hand, or ball to arm rather, and it's definitely not a penalty. Moving on to the third controversial part of the game. Alaba attacks and kicks the ball right into Carvajal's chest, then it moves into his arm. Again, very close range. His arm is stretched out, but again, it's very close range and ball to hand, not a penalty. Moving on to the fourth controversial point in the game, Ronaldo's penalty. As we can see clearly here, Mascherano is grabbing into Ronaldo's shirt as the crossing is coming from Marcelo. We can see clearly here, grabbing Ronaldo by the shirt, completely oblivious to the fact that the referee could be seeing him. Again, you can see it's a definite penalty. Alright guys, this is it from me. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, please like and subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and see you next time. Bye.